Okay, well, good evening, everybody. My name is Paula Knipp. I'm a librarian up at the SPC Tarpon Springs campus. And tonight, the online workshop is exploring JSTOR, which is a multidisciplinary database. So the way I have this structured, I'm going to show you guys this database for about 20 minutes. I also leave some time at the end in case anyone has any questions. Since it looks like there's not a whole lot of participants tonight, if you want to go ahead and ask questions as we go along, I'm going to try to monitor the chat box at the same time. Or again, I'm definitely going to leave room at the end for questions. So I do have everyone's mics disabled, but again, if you have any questions, please feel free to just type them in the chat box and I can try to answer them as we go or at the end. So is everyone able to hear me okay? I know I tested it. Okay, good. If there's any audio issues or anything as we go along, just send me a message in the chat and I'll try to fix that. Okay, so JSTOR database. A lot of you may have not heard of this database before. It's actually really good. It's a very comprehensive database. It has access to more than 12 million academic journal articles, also books and primary sources in over 75 different disciplines. Typically, we use this database for historical documents. We can get a lot of journal articles that are from the 1800s through here, which is kind of neat. And we use it for more of like the arts and humanities assignments. But again, it's really good for a lot of different classes. If you're using it for a topic in composition, ethics, history, speech, with 75 different disciplines, I mean, you can find quite a bit of info. Actually, the JSTOR database stands for Journal Storage. It was a digital library that was founded in 1995. I thought that was kind of interesting. And now, I mean, it's grown. So 12 million academic journal articles. It's pretty huge. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to share my screen. And let me see if I go back here. And I'm going to actually go to show you how to get here through our library. Are you guys able to see the blue tiles on your screen, the SPC tiles when you log in? Great. Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. So I'm going to show you guys a couple ways to get to the JSTOR database. The first way is through this tile. This is kind of new. We added this a few months ago. You can get directly to our library's homepage through this tile. So you'll see here, it takes you directly into our online library. You can also get this way inside My Courses. So when you're on your My Courses homepage, this is the way that we've typically been showing students how to access the library. You can scroll all the way to the bottom, and there's this link for library resources and services, so that will also take you to the online library. So either way, it both get you there, so whatever you're more comfortable with. Now to get into the JSTOR database specifically, you can go up to Databases A to Z, and this will actually list all of the library's databases alphabetically. So I'm just going to go directly to the J's because it's JSTOR. And this is what it looks like. I'll just kind of zoom in here. So here it is, JSTOR. And when we click on that, that should get you to the JSTOR main page. Okay, so there's a couple options in here. You can go directly to the search box and start typing in keywords, or there's a browse section, and you can browse topics by subject. So you'll see here they already have some featured subjects pulled together for you, and then they have other subjects just kind of broken down. So that is definitely one way you can search. But what I really wanted to concentrate on tonight is just showing you guys how a search works and all the different features of the database. So I'm going to go ahead and use this search box. I'm also going to show you the advanced search a little bit later. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to do research on umbrellas. I'm not sure why. Maybe because you find them very fascinating. So we're going to go ahead and do a search for umbrellas. Now keep in mind, this is a very broad search. If I was doing a research paper on umbrellas, maybe I want to narrow this down a little bit. But just to show you what we get, so 4,696 search results. And it also links to JSTOR. So JSTOR is kind of like a sister site to JSTOR, and these are art images. And you can even go to view more images and get that through here. And then as we go down, these are going to be all of our results. Now the first thing I wanted to point out is JSTOR is going to sort by relevance. So it's what the database feels is most relevant to your search. So we did a search for umbrellas and it feels that these first articles are the most relevant. I'm not going to say it's, right or wrong on that. It's kind of just the database's idea of relevance. You can sort it by newest or oldest. So those are some options for you as well. Another cool feature that JSTOR has is this box that says Show Snippets. When I select that, now I'm getting a nice little brief part of the article, a little summary that kind of comes up. And then that way you can kind of see if it's something that you want to spend the time actually going into. Just for fun, I'm going to switch this to oldest just to show you guys historically what kind of things are coming up in here. So here's a review, 1683. Here's something 1683 to 1775. Something published in 1780. So it's pretty fascinating. There was one that I found when I did a test search earlier. Let's see if I can get back to that. Umbrellas Past and Present from Scientific American, and it's from 1877. So what I did is I clicked on that title, and this just kind of gives me a little bit more about the article. And as I scroll down the page, there is my article in HTML format. So it's just going to have it right down the page. So I can go through this page by using the arrows. Or I can download the entire PDF. So that is another option too. Typically I tell students that if it gives you the option to download as a PDF, probably take that option just because I find it easier to read, easier to print out, easier to save, and also it retains the original page numbers of the source, so it's kind of nice. So when I click on Download PDF, you'll notice this pop up. It just says that you accept JSTOR's terms and conditions. I'll be honest, I never read through them. If you want to read through them, please do. But I'm sure it has to do with copyright and things like that. So now I'm opening this as a PDF document. And you'll just kind of see the difference right here. I don't have to keep clicking arrows to go page by page. I can scroll down. And then you have options with your PDF viewer to print, save, etc. So another thing that JSTOR has, much like probably most of our databases, is it will cite for you in APA and MLA format. So the way you get that to happen, again, first you want to choose an article. So I just happen to choose this one. And once you click on it and select that article, on the right-hand side, it'll say Cite this item. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that box. And here is our MLA citation or our APA citation. You also have the ability to export to RefWorks. RefWorks is something that the SPC libraries have access to, and it's a citation management software. So it collects all your articles and then it makes a bibliography for you in APA or MLA. So it's really a neat thing. I don't have time on this webinar to explain it, but maybe I'll make another one about RefWorks, but that's kind of another option that you have. If you just want your citation right away, you can just hit copy and then paste this into your paper. Now it does make errors. Oh, good question. So what is MLA and APA? So at SPC, when we write papers, your instructors are going to ask you to cite it. And there's the two main citation styles, which are MLA, which stands for Modern Language Association, and APA, which is American Psychological Association. Basically, it's just showing where you got your work. So it's putting the author name, the title, the URL if it's a website. So you actually cite twice. So you're going to cite at the end of your paper. It'll either be called references or works cited, and then you also cite throughout your paper, which are in-text citations. So when we talk about APA and MLA, that's pretty much what we mean. It's just citing your sources that you use for your research paper. Does that answer your question? There's about 25 different citation styles out there, but okay, good. Glad I answered that. So luckily at SPC, the main ones you're going to be working with are MLA, which is most of your art type classes, art history, sometimes Composition 1 and Comp 2 will have you do MLA. You're probably going to mainly be using APA. APA in your psychology classes, your business, your sciences. And then those that are taking biology classes, you may also be required to learn CSE, which is Council of Science Editors, which is a third citation. But pretty much just MLA and APA. But it's nice that the databases will do it for you. I will caution that they make errors. So some of the biggest errors you'll find are things will be in all caps, and also sometimes the order is off, or they will put capitalization in a title when it shouldn't be. So they do a good job, but just not a perfect job. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so a couple things from this page. So again, what I did, I'm still just in a basic search. So I did my search for umbrellas. And when you get to your results screen, there are some things I wanted to point out. So on the left, you can refine by content type. So we have journal articles and books. These are not full books. They're book chapters. I was wondering the same thing. I searched, it's book chapters. You can also refine by date. So let's just say you don't want a lot of that historical. You just want to stay within the last, let's say 10 years or so. We can actually put in dates here. And that reduced our results to 559. You can also sort by subject. So maybe with umbrellas, you wanted to focus on umbrellas in art. You could click on that, and then you're going to narrow down your search. The other thing I wanted you to see is access type. So the good thing about JSTOR is it's going to default to content I can access. So that means everything coming up you should be able to get in full text, meaning the full article. If you switch it to all content, you will get more results, but you may not have access to those. Why they give that as an option, I'm not quite sure, but I'm glad that it defaults to content that you can access. There is also a way you can create an account, and you can go to add to my lists. It is going to involve you creating a separate account within JSTOR, but that is an option if you want to save your articles within here as well. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to show you guys, since it's 6:16, so I should be able to wrap up the instruction portion in 5 minutes, is the advanced search. So I had just done a basic search. Let me see if I can get back to the main page. Okay, so I just started with a basic search right in here. You do have the option to go to an advanced search. I recommend advanced searching when you have a more narrowed subject in mind. So you're really ready to look for something more specific. So instead of just umbrellas, so if we do umbrellas as one search term. Notice we have this and right here. This is a connector. So if I also put symbolism, then I'm going to search for articles about umbrellas and symbolism. You can also add more search boxes. So if you wanted to add even more keywords, you could keep doing that. And here is that access type. And again, it's going to default to content I can access, which is good. You can also narrow here as well if you just wanted book chapters, just articles. You can narrow by language. You can narrow by publication date. So when they say advanced search, I mean, they really mean you can highly narrow this down just from the start. So I'm going to go ahead and do this search for umbrellas and symbolism. And you'll see here we got 293 results. So it's definitely reduced from just umbrellas when we were getting 4,000 and something. So technically this should only be pulling up articles about symbolism and also about umbrellas. And you'll kind of see some of this coming up here. On the JSTOR database. Since it's just about 6:20 now, and I always promise everybody I will keep within 20 minutes. Is there anything you wanted me to go over in more detail? Okay, well, thank you guys again. And I will, every time I host another webinar, I'm going to put it out on that online site. And hopefully, you guys will get word if I'm doing more of these. Okay, thank you. Have a great night.